it's time once again for Dr. David Klein to join us right here on the Rob Newton Resource Hour. We have the doctor on 5 days a week. We have 3 brand new shows a week, and then I go back through the archives and I give you some of the best shows of the past. And these shows really are relevant to everybody listening, so make sure that your friends know that the Resource Hour is on at 2 o'clock, and Dr. Klein is always part of that show. Now, today, essential carbohydrates. And I didn't know that a carbohydrate could be good for me.
Well, okay, carbohydrate is a class of organic compounds, okay, and they're best known to us for being bad news.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you've got to avoid carbohydrates.
The carbs are stacked against me. I'm
there
fat.
you go. Yeah, it's all the same thing. Well, it was carbohydrates that made me X, Y, and Z. Well, a carbohydrate really didn't do much of anything. Cellulose, okay, is the backbone. It's the spine for plants and plant materials. Cellulose is a complicated carbohydrate, but we don't worry too much about it. And the reason we don't worry about it is because we can't digest it. Okay, but cattle can. Okay, so when you're looking at cellulose, you're going to go, well, gee, I can eat a piece of celery. There's a ton of non-absorbable, non-functional in terms of our metabolism carbohydrates. But the carbohydrates come in many, many different varieties, shapes, colors, and so on and so forth. They're basically plant-derived, okay? And we use them principally in our system for energy. That is our focus on it, whether it's glucose, fructose, sucrose, glycogen in your liver, so on and so forth, aldose, maltose. There are many, many different of these carbohydrates, and we use them for energy. But an essential carbohydrate, what does that mean? Essential means, in biological terms, in physiological terms, that we need it for health, maintenance, and well-being, but we can't produce it ourselves. In other words, we can't make it from something else. In automobile terms, it would be an interchange manual. You cannot get it from any place else. Your body needs these things for a number of purposes. Well, why would you need a carbohydrate other than to burn it? Okay, well, it's a valid interest. Well, the body uses these things for cell-to-cell recognition. And you're going to go, well, what in the world are we talking about? There's got to be some kind of bizarre conspiracy going on here. Cell-to-cell recognition. It's sometimes known as the immune system.
Oh, okay.
We're going to start getting interesting here.
Sense.
Yeah, back in the day, well, gee, you really should be putting, essential carbs into your diet. Okay, we weren't really told that. We were told that honey is good for you. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Okay, you're getting a different carbohydrate set from honey than you do from table sugar. Well, that's one of the many reasons why table sugar is so much more sweet and so much more addictive. But what do these carbohydrates mean to you? Well, the body uses them by incorporating them into the membrane that surrounds the cells. Okay, and it's almost like the fingerprint for the cell. There'll be glycoproteins. Those are proteins attached to these sugars. There'll be essential carbs by themselves. There'll be proteins by themselves. But they give the exterior of the cell an appearance, an identification. So, well, I was watching the Sci-Fi channel. Now it's, you're watching the FBI channel on, iris scans and so on and so forth, or you're looking at retinal scans. These are things that everybody has a very individual. Fingerprints were a big deal back in the late 19th century.
Oh, sure.
My God, forensic science has come a long way. Now you have some kid with a year out of Seminole Community College doing fingerprint analysis. This is how you can identify person to person. It doesn't have to be DNA, but cell to cell. You're looking at these proteins, glycoproteins, and essential carbohydrates. So why do you care? And the answer is because if you want to maintain your health, if you want to get a little bit better, if you're interested for whatever reason in reducing your risk of heart attack, stroke, and a disorder sometimes known as cancer, you will pay really close attention. Now, let's take a complete breakdown of the immune system. Okay, AIDS is a good example of that. Okay, well, what happens here, acquired immunodepression syndrome or deficiency syndrome, occurs as a result of a virus that attacks a particular cell that's necessary in a complicated cascade to maintain cell-to-cell recognition. Well, gee, these people die of infection. Why don't we just give them antibiotics and save their life? And the answer is very, very simple. Because antibiotics don't save lives. You save your own life. The antibiotics help you out. So to some extent, to a very great extent, it's like being in a rowboat in the center of the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah, the liner went down, you're in the boat, but unless somebody picks you up fairly quickly, you're over. It's done.
Right.
So what do the cells do? They need to maintain the lion's share of protection. Antibiotics help the last little piece. But to date, at this point, nobody is really looking at the pharmacological intervention with regards to these essential carbohydrates. Why? Because you don't really need to. You can find them in the grocery store. So where do you get these essential carbohydrates? Let's start with the fruits and vegetables that were given to us. Okay, these fruits and vegetables contain all of the essential carbohydrates you're going to need. Go buy and eat a peach, an apple, a pear. That's a really good place to start. You do not need capsules of anything. If you want to go out and buy these powdered antioxidants, we keep them in our store. Why? Because there's some people that are really, they just as soon open up a packet than to eat a pear. Me, I'd rather eat a pear, peach, or plum any day of the week. So you buy them fresh, and you eat them fresh. You will get the carbohydrates that you need, the essential carbohydrates that your body is craving, and you will maintain your health. It's very, very important.
Wow. So now, even we discussed before on some things that are planted in the fields, we're not getting what we used to get 100 years ago.
Well, you can't create a mineral. That's right. You cannot create a mineral. It's neither created nor destroyed, but a carbohydrate is.
So if I get an orange off a tree, even though we mass produce oranges, I'm still going to get what I should be getting.
You should. Okay, you will get the carbohydrates, the essential carbs that you need. It gets complicated because not every fruit or vegetable has everything that we need as human beings.
Right.
Because we're animals, we are not orange trees. The orange has everything it needs. We may not. Okay, so you can actually find yourself losing weight. You can actually find yourself getting healthier and healthier by eating the appropriate carbohydrates. Now, folks will think, well, gee, I understand, rice is different from potatoes, which is different from spaghetti, and so on and so forth. And that's absolutely true. But it really doesn't help you with the essential carbohydrates. These things are best obtained from fruits directly, vegetables directly, and that seems to be the way these things work. You are not going to extract an essential carbohydrate from the wrong carbohydrate. You can't make it. It has to be there, and it has to be present. So when you're looking at these foods, which foods are richest in the essential carbohydrates? Oddly enough, foods like beets, vegetables like beets, tubers like beets, carrots, okay, these are not technically fruits, they're tubers, they work just fine. Plums, apples, peaches, pears. Are there individuals that can't eat these? Of course, but we have a variety of different fruits and vegetables that you can. Kiwi is a wonderful one, oddly enough. Nuts will do it for you as well. So what are we looking for? We're looking for essential carbohydrates. We're looking to get what other minerals that we can extract from them. So, what's an essential carbohydrate? It's a substance, it's a sugar that we cannot produce on our own. Now, it's easily confused with essential amino acids. Well, it's the same kind of a deal. An amino acid, okay, is a simple building block of protein. What makes it essential is the fact that we cannot make it. These are not the only amino acids that are out there. They just happen to be the ones that we can't make from anything else. If you're missing an amino acid that's necessary for protein, you don't get it. The body will not produce it. You will get sick. The same thing is true of essential carbohydrates. Well, what about essential fatty acids? Do we not see a trend here, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's the trend. The trend works something like this. Essential means just that. If you don't get it, you're going to die. You're going to get sick. You're not going to do well at all. An essential fatty acid is a fatty acid. It's necessary for membrane maintenance. It's necessary for hormone production, for lots of different things, but your body cannot produce it de novo. It can't produce it on its own. So essential carbohydrates are every bit as important to you as are those essential amino acids and essential fatty acids.
Am I getting anything good out of starch and out of the carbohydrates that I get in my potatoes and my pasta, or am I killing myself?
Oh, you're getting heavier, and you're probably killing yourself. But okay, at the end of the day, okay, you still need calories. How many calories a day do you really need? Okay, as an adult in our age group, okay, what do we need? Really, somewhere between 1,500 and 1,800 calories. And after that, you really don't need too much more. Okay. But one bowl of spaghetti is going to get you all the way there plus some. And the problem with it, okay, is that it's got to go someplace. Where do you think it's going to go? Okay,
Right here.
it goes right there, and that right there isn't where you really want it to go. There are other places where it'd be nice, but it doesn't go there either.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, you don't see any more of that after you get to a certain weight.
All right, Robin, can you put us together with the stages of life where we can get the best nutraceuticals, we can get proven nutraceuticals, but we can get all that, we can make ourselves look as good as we feel?
Absolutely. We have a great aesthetic department at the office. You can give us a call at 407-679-3337. Find us on Facebook at Stages of Life Medical Institute. You are always welcome to come in to the nutraceutical store when it's open Monday through Thursday from 8 to 5. We're located in Longwood at 1917 Booth Circle. That's right off of I-4 and 434. And we're also on the web at stagesoflife.net.
All right, very good. And Dr. Klein is with us 5 days a week right here on the Resource Hour.